Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 6 of our No Loan Challenge here on Transport Fever 2. Now, we are continuing off where we left last episode. Of course, we finally have all of these 4 cities here connected with a passenger line, and of course, each city also has a bus route as well. Some of them have a reverse route, which obviously is helping, I guess, increase the workload of the actual passenger trains on the lines, and we're seeing pretty healthy returns. As you can see, our finances, we're currently sitting over 4 million in the bank currently, and as you can see, you know, we've got pretty decent amounts of people waiting at each of these stations at the moment. So that's all looking really good. Obviously, we're almost maxing out the supply that is needed for construction materials in Surprise as well. So we were kind of thinking about possibly supplying Downey up here as well. I feel like we should do that. But then we were also talking about, in the last episode, possibly venturing over to the right, or I guess the eastern side of the map, if we are looking in this direction. And of course, we've got some interesting things here. So first of all, we've got these 2 forests here, which can obviously supply this sawmill, which will allow us to get planks. And then of course, we can take our planks over to the tools factory and actually get some tools there. But what we're also thinking, obviously with the tools, we can then supply Springfield down the bottom here. But in order to do that, we may as well create another passenger line along with the cargo train that's going to be delivering those tools. And we're essentially going to run it all the way down here and essentially through Pueblo in the middle here as well. And then, of course, on the way back, once we try and go, well, the cargo... I just realized that in my head, last episode, of course, I had that idea about trying to bring back oil. Now, essentially, that's not going to work unless we have tank cars on our trains. Now, obviously, there is a way to do that. However, the train itself will be always running empty with something. Obviously, we're either going to be taking crude up to the refinery up here, or we're going to be taking tools. Well, the planks to the tools, and then obviously the tools down to Springfield. So there is going to be that sort of potential for essentially nothing to happen. And as a result, we're obviously going to have a bit of a wasted load. So that's a tough one. I feel like we're going to have to do a wasted load because it is such a long journey that we probably want to be bringing some crude oil back so it can be refined just to get the finances. Of course, we could maybe send it here to get plastic made out of it, which I am kind of considering, but I'm also not. Anyway, I guess to start this whole process off, we essentially just need to make our truck stops over here by these forests. So let's do that first of all. I'm going to grab some truck stations here. This first one, I guess we can essentially put it as close to the bridge itself, which is essentially about there. So let's do that. That one's going to service there. We obviously need one here as well, which I think we'll put right on the corner here. I feel like that'll be pretty beneficial. So let's get that straightened up a little bit. We'll give it a little bit of road just so they'll actually be able to bring their vehicles in. And then finally we'll get one more over here. And again, we're going to try and go as close to or as far away as possible that we can actually go, which seems to be about there. So we'll go there. Now, as far as the depot, I think we'll put the depot in the middle here, so near the planks. Obviously, instead of buying 2 depots, we'll just buy 1 depot. Obviously, we'll lose a little bit of money, as it's going to have to travel to where it's going, but that should be fine. So there's our depot. Now, of course, we need to set up lines. Now, obviously, I think we'll probably want to set up 2 separate lines. So what's this one called? This one is just Jacksonville Forest. And that one is Garden Grove Forest number 3. Okay. So, new line. And we're going to go from here up to the sawmill. And of course, we're going to be loading up on the wood. And of course, unloading planks. Sorry. We'll be unloading planks. Sorry. What am I doing? Unloading wood. Yeah. Had a long day at work today. My brain's not really ticking over as well as I'd like it to be. So that one's obviously going to be called Jacksonville Forest. Actually, let's call it wood. Wood to sawmill. Just so I know essentially exactly what it is. And of course, it's going to be a V for vehicles there as well. So there's that one. Now, of course, we want to start another new line. And this one's... Actually, that this distance seems a little bit shorter than the other one. So we might add 1 or 2 more vehicles onto that line itself. But once again, it's going to be the wood. And then, of course, unloading the wood as well. So there we go. All right. And again, we'll call this Garden... I think it was Garden Grove, wasn't it? So Garden Grove, I guess we'll number it number 3 because that is what it is. And we'll do wood to sawmill as well. And it looks like we can't actually type anything else. So we're essentially going to have to keep it like that. Okay. It would be nice if you could... Obviously, you can expand it like that, but it would be nice if you could expand the line manager outways. I feel like that'd be pretty beneficial. Anyway, let's buy some vehicles for both of these lines. Just notice we could essentially use the same... I mean, there just is no difference using the side stakes there, so... I feel like we pretty much... let's use the side stakes. So let's go... We'll go for 6 on this line. And that'll be our blue line. Which is that one, Jacksonville. And then we'll grab, I guess, 5. And we'll chuck those ones onto Garden Grove number 3. Alright. So that production is going to eventually start, well... That was actually really expensive. Anyway. I didn't... For some reason in my head, I didn't think it would be that expensive. Anyway. Up next, I guess we want to have our train line running to here. This is going to be pretty complicated. So I think we'll get the train line to here. We'll get the train going. And then I probably want to shift my focus to making the passenger lines because, again, we're essentially going to need the train tracks and the platforms to essentially be in place before we then send, or at least connect, this last cargo station at the tools factory and connect it into the same line. So let's do this. Let's create this station here. This one, I guess, is going to be pretty simple to do. It's literally going to be on the edge here. I guess we can... I mean, that actually looks relatively good there. I'm kind of wondering how far we could maybe go away. Let's put it right there. I feel like that's fine. Then, of course, we're going to need one over here. I think we want to have it maybe up here, and then we're going to have it curve around this bridge and come down there. We could maybe have it come in here. And that would sort of be a bit of a shorter distance. And there is kind of room here. I mean, we could essentially connect this road to there and put it on this side in regards to the passenger terminal. well, it's obviously going to have a cargo terminal on it as well. So let's actually do that. What's our collision? We're colliding with the road, I think. Alright, so right there, that looks fine. It is obviously going to work there. I mean, now this one looks a little bit wonky, but the line will be fairly straight going to there. So yeah, let's make this one first, because we can obviously actually earn money from this, even though it won't have a final destination. What am I doing? Tracks. Okay. I mean, quite simply, I just literally want to go from this one, and then try... I mean, that looks relatively good. Pretty expensive. What, 663,000? But that does kind of look like it's going to be the best route for it. And of course, it does actually have maximum speed all the way through there. So that's pretty beneficial. I don't think we need any signals in there, because we're probably only... Well, we're definitely only going to have one train, at least from the get-go. So yeah, that should be fine. Alright, let's set up another line. This one's literally, I guess, Jacksonville. Sawmill. And then it's going to the tools factory. And once again, we can't... I guess we can just put our tools. We don't need factory. And then I want to get a nice T in there again, of course. Alright. So there's that line. We are going to need a depot. And of course, we are going to need a train. So where do we want the depot? I feel like we probably want to have it come this way. So what I will do, actually, let's play the game out a little bit, because I want to get these vehicles on the road and get them starting to load up on the wood itself, so we can get some plank production going, which I feel like would be pretty beneficial to have up and running before we actually send a train out. And of course, before we actually buy the train depot, we won't incur any more cost that is sort of unnecessary. Alright, one thing I will do actually, nice and early, and that is add additional cargo here. So we'll add 2 more to that one, and then I want to go up here, and we're going to configure this one here as well, because that's already losing, as you can see. That is exactly what we want to do. Get some extra cargo platforms going there. So that's perfect. Hopefully that'll, you know, reach a decent level as it maxes out. This one seems to be going a lot faster than this one, which is interesting because this one does have... It does have more vehicles, but, well, it has one more vehicle. Very strange. We might want to up the amount of vehicles as well. I also kind of just noticed that Jacksonville needs food, and we do have a farm and a food processing plant right here. So maybe... Let's have a look. What train... We go into vehicles here. Let's buy a vehicle for a second. Or at least have a look. So, the boxcar... Okay, so the boxcar takes food and tools. So... What we could essentially do is have boxcars, and we could essentially bring food. What is happening here? My game seems to absolutely be freaking out. So yeah, we'll have food on the way back. So I guess we'll have to have one more station here. And on the way back, instead of getting the crude, which would obviously need to be a sort of different train, we could also, or instead of, we'll pick up the food and then take that into Jacksonville on the way back. So essentially we'd only be running empty from Springfield up until the food processing plant, which is just above Pueblo. That could be better. And obviously we will essentially be able to maximize exactly what we essentially what we want to be taking. So I feel like that's pretty beneficial. Anyway, what I am going to do here is we're going to buy a lot more vehicles. Let's buy 7, and I want to put all of those onto Garden Grove Wood 3, and then we're going to buy, I think, another 5 for the other line as well. So the Jacksonville Wood to Sawmill. As you can see, they're producing a lot of wood, and we're actually losing wood. So I might actually add a few more cargo. What are they called? Cargo platforms to this one as well. Hopefully that'll be enough. It's still not enough. Okay. I don't really want to add too many more because it is essentially going to become too big, possibly. Anyway, we'll add a couple more to this one as well, because that one will probably eventually reach the same sort of level. Okay, it is time. Let me pause the game once again. We've got just over 3.1 million. Let's grab our depot. I'm going to spin it around there. I think we'll have it like maybe up here a little bit. And we'll have it right there. What we'll do, we'll run the tracks simply, or we'll try and get it as best as possible, connecting up here, which should be about there. I'm assuming that's actually connected. Is it? Yes, it is. Okay. Well, with that being said, let's put some signals in here. Guess we would need the signal there, maybe. Probably the best place to put it, and then I guess maybe we would want one here as well. Probably not, actually. Yeah, that should be fine. All right. So with that said, let's grab a train. We did unlock the Mogul, but it is very, very expensive. So I'm not sure if we want to go with it. I think the Baldwin, and we could stick with the General. At least for the short term. As you can see, we'd be paying an extra 100,000 per year just to run the Baldwin. And of course, we're not made of money at the moment. We're doing pretty well, but we're still lacking. So I think we'll upgrade it in the future. And we do need the boxcars. So let's go with that. 42 capacity. I feel like that's a pretty good place to start. That's going to be chucked onto our Jacksonville sawmill line. Sawmill to tools. And I think we also want to give it a recolor as well. Let's recolor that, I guess, to an orange. And, okay. That's gonna take off. So I think we'll let that run for a little bit. We'll get some, we'll make some money from the planks going into tools. Obviously, we're not exactly going to be able to do anything with the tools itself yet, because we are, of course, still yet to build our sort of main line with the passenger terminals. I just feel like we're going to need a lot more money, and we just gained 1 million, so that was pretty good. Let's actually take a quick look at our highest earning lines that we currently have, and of course Atlanta to Oxnard making a massive amount, as well as Atlanta Oil, the oil to fuel to city line, also making just under 1 million. Good to see Downey to Norwalk also doing pretty well. And behind that we also have the crude oil line, our sort of OG train line that we first ever made at the start of the series. So that's pretty cool. Now I guess I guess we could start maybe running some grain over to this food processing plant as well. But for now, I think we're pretty good. Let me go back over here. Let's actually suss out Atlanta. Because it is, of course, our... well, essentially one of our biggest earners. I feel like the bus loop's kind of struggling, especially over here. Especially, you know, with the massive train loads of people that we're essentially bringing into each of these cities. Still not maxing out, though. Still not maxing out. How many people do you have down here? I only got 47. That's interesting. But again, we're still not actually supplying it with anything, so... you know, it does kind of make sense. As to why that one's not growing as... probably as fast. I mean, Atlanta doesn't really look like it's growing that fast either anymore. Especially when compared to the other cities a little bit further down. And it might be because of food. Doesn't really look like we're supplying too much food either. Kind of feel like it's got a lot to do with the transport to here. So which line is that? The purple food line. This one here. Alright. The Atlanta grain, I think we're going to get a few more vehicles onto that one as well. So let's buy 4 more, and we'll chuck them onto the Atlanta grain food. And hopefully the food production might be ramped up a little bit. Because as you can see, it's not actually doing anything at the moment. Which is very strange. We also have the old vehicles, so I might want to upgrade everything. Let me have a look at the vehicle manager. Alright, so where is it? Atlanta Grain. Okay, let's upgrade all of these vehicles here as well. They all need to be these bigger vehicles with an additional capacity on them. And of course, remember it is 2 grain to 1 food, so that's kind of the issue. You know, not enough grain, and of course there's probably too many vehicles. Alright. We seem to be losing money at the moment, which is not great, but it's fine. Are we running any tools? We don't have any tools. Why? Why do we have no tools? What have I done wrong here? I mean, that is connected, isn't it? It should be producing tools, or am I completely off base here? I think I might have done something wrong. Let me try and connect it by road. I'm not sure if that's the problem, but... Interesting. I'm going to assume that it's probably not the issue, but... let's just put a road in here, just in case it is the issue for some reason. I really don't think it is, and I'm kind of gobsmacked a little bit as to why it's not producing any planks for here. It does say that it's connected. Maybe I actually have to have it... I didn't think you had to have it set up. Like the full line set up. It truly isn't producing anything, though. Let's run down to this line. Okay. Yeah, okay. I've just realized my problem. I feel like a bit of an idiot. I'm not gonna lie. But it's luckily a pretty easily solvable problem, so let's take that one off there, and we need to go down to, where is it? Jacksonville Sawmill. What I decided to do was to look too far ahead into the future. Obviously, boxcars take tools. They don't take planks, which is obviously the flat car with sides, which is exactly what we need. Luckily for us, it's only going to cost us 48,000 for that little mistake. So there we go. I'm definitely very lucky that that was not a costly mistake. So now what we should be seeing is hopefully some planks being developed, maybe. It now has 0 wood stored, which is great as it's already consumed a pretty massive amount, which is not great as all that wood has essentially gone to waste. I would like a little bit of production before the train gets back. It's kind of on its way back already. And yeah, I mean, it's just not looking too good. We're actually getting pretty close to 1890, which is, I'm not sure if it's a good year, but we're getting close to another decade. Anyway, the finances are starting to get up there a little bit. Probably enough so that we can build the first sort of connection from Jacksonville to Pueblo. And again, remember, we're going to be coming sort of straight down because we do want to be connecting to this food processing plant. Probably right there would be perfect on this edge, as you can see here. So we're going to try and connect it there, and then hopefully run the track this way and connect out here in Pueblo. That'd be the game plan. So with that said, let's do some road making in Pueblo. And we'll try again, make these roads as straight as I possibly can within the realm of, you know, just doing it by my eyesight, which is obviously not great. Let me go like that. I want to connect it here. Again, want to keep it, try and keep it as straight as possible. Then we'll demolish that side there. Still looks a little bit wonky, but you know what? It's actually not too bad. They're actually kind of building up towards this hill. That's pretty cool. I do kind of like that. Okay. So let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, my scroll wheel on my mouse is not so good. All right. So with that said, where are we bringing the station? I did kind of say that I wanted to do it here somewhere. Probably across here would be nice. So let's do that. I think like right there. Again, let's have a look at that. You know what? That looks relatively straight. Maybe there. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. Demolish that little bit of road there, and then we should be good to chuck down another passenger terminus. Well, obviously we don't want terminus. We want station, because we do need the pass-through function. Let me zoom in a little bit here, and once again we'll get this one lined up as well as nicely as we possibly can. Let's go like right there. Okay, that looks really good. And again, we're going to do a bus route, and we will actually connect this road here as well. Very wonky though. Ooh, that looks so ugly. Goodness. I mean, is this... Their road here isn't even straight themselves, so I find that really Frustrating. Yeah, I don't like that. I guess let's just do that. That's going to be a real eyesore going forward. Like, all these roads are kind of... They're not very gritty. And they're also building here, which is interesting. I'm surprised they're building when they're not actually being supplied with anything. Very, very strange. Natural growth, perhaps? Anyway, I'm going to slow that down a little bit. We're making a decent amount of money, so... First and foremost, we'll get a bus station in here as well. That actually looks pretty straight. Let's go like that. That looks good. Obviously, we're also going to need... Actually, I don't think we need... We obviously don't need to put a car... Actually, we do. Yeah, we definitely need a cargo platform on this one. Let's configure that. Let's get another set of tracks in. I'm not sure if we need it too much. And of course, we want cargo platforms. Let's put those bad boys down on the other side, which is fine. This road here we might get rid of and possibly move it to... Actually, yeah, we can get rid of it from there. So what we'll do, actually, let's do that really quickly. Want to demolish that little bit of road, that little bit of road there. That issue there. I guess we can actually destroy most of this road up to about there. And then let's rebuild it. Let's go the faster road. Why is that not possible? Let's curve it a little bit like that. And then let's just go with a straight. Alright, that looks pretty good. I feel like that's much better. And then obviously this is kind of going to have a little bit less traffic, which is nice. Can we get rid of this tiny little bit here? Okay, there we go. That was kind of unnecessary. Alright, so that part, we're up to 6.5 million. I'm going to pause it right here. I feel like that's definitely enough money for what we're trying to do right now. And we also don't want Pueblo to start building for whatever reason they would sort of decide to build down here. Alright, so once again, I want to get this bad boy lined up nicely. I feel like right there. Probably perfect. It is a little bit out of whack though. That's a bit straighter. Alright, there we go. So that looks really good. We don't need a cargo platform here because the train is essentially just going to run past. What we might do is have a second track though. And the second track will essentially be the main. Yeah, so let's do that. What I want to do here is have more tracks built in. And what we'll do, in order for the passenger train to drop off, so this main line will run all the way through. So if the cargo train comes, it can just run straight down. Whereas the passenger train will pull off the main track into this side platform, I guess, to unload its passengers. Whereas the other train will then, if it's behind it or in front of it, will then be able to pass through without any sort of interruption. Or hopefully, in my head, I'm thinking that the passenger train will hopefully wait for the cargo train to go past. But obviously, me thinking something and it actually coming true is obviously a very different thing. Anyway, let's grab another bus station. We'll try and get this one in here as well. That looks really good right there, actually. A little bit on the wonky side, but you know what, that's fine. So there's a bus station there as well. And finally, the last order of business is to chuck in a cargo station. And we're going to chuck this right on the edge here of our food processing plant. And thinking this looks pretty good. Right there. Right there. That looks perfect. Okay. And again, we're going to try and curve it out of here and curve it around and go straight to about this point. So actually what I might do right now, while we're here, let's do those tracks. Alright. So we want to curve straight out of there. And I guess we want to continue sort of around there. Is that sort of right? Maybe a little bit sharper, but I want to keep it 120. So like right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I guess we can just sort of connect it. I just want to make sure we get onto the... Yeah, so it's going to be from there. Okay. Very simple, very easy. And that's essentially perfectly what I wanted. It does lose a lot of speed here, but that's fine because, I mean, obviously the cargo trains are primarily going to stop there. I guess, again, we may as well configure this one to essentially the same thing, where we have more tracks running alongside. Obviously, that will allow the passenger trains to continue on. So in theory, I probably want to demolish that bit and actually reconnect it to that second line there. Yeah. That's definitely what we want. And I guess from there, we can connect into this one as well. I kind of want to... I guess that's the sort of maximum it will give us. I mean, that's fine. So we'll do that there. Then obviously down here we've got to do the same thing. And I think that's the maximum that'll give us there as well. Okay. So there we go. Now obviously we're going to need signals, so let's put in some signals here. I guess we probably want them both ways. So I guess there, obviously, we're not actually doing anything down here yet. We have enough money that we probably could just do the whole thing. But let me go back up here. So again, we want signals. I mean, primarily we only want them on these sides. So I guess coming out of there, yeah. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Okay, so finally, let's go back into tracks. We'll do some more signals in a second. But we obviously want this one to essentially come out here. Let's go to there. Then let's go up here. Which line do we want to make the main line coming out of here? I mean, it really doesn't matter. So I guess let's go passenger. And I guess we just essentially want to try and connect these, so... That's pretty good right there. That is connected, alright. As you can see, that's relatively straight the whole way to the food processing plant. Which is going to be pretty beneficial for Jacksonville itself. But obviously, we're not going to be able to go too fast. Because we can't actually go past the roadway here. Okay, so more signals. I guess this one, we will wait for cargo first, I guess. And we want to signal there as well, I think. Because there are multiple trains, let's throw in some signals coming down here as well. Alright, that should be pretty good. Once again, we do need to connect it here as well. There we go, that's fine. And I guess we want to signal here as well. Right there. Okay, I think that's kind of the way we want it to work. And of course, this is going to be the main line coming through here. So that's fine. Kind of wondering, do we need a signal on this track as well? And maybe let this come out first? I guess not, because I kind of want those trains that are on the inside lanes, whether it be passenger or cargo, to essentially run through unimpeded. Which, yeah, this one is kind of... It kind of doesn't matter with this one, because it's going to obviously have both, so passenger and cargo. Alright, and finally, we just need to link this up, which is going to be very easy. Let's go tracks. It's going to be expensive, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be very easy to actually go... I guess we only need to have it go into the actual cargo terminal itself, and we really don't need to connect these lines up, because obviously... It's essentially only going to be cargo coming down here. However, we do already have a train running here, which is not going to be the train that runs all the way through. So, once again, we're going to have to do some configuring. I'm going to add a second row of tracks as well. And we will add... do we need to add another... I guess we may as well add some more cargo platforms on the opposite side. So then we can have the trains completely separated. Which I obviously haven't done here. So let's demolish these tracks. Let's go back to, I guess, there. Because that's the bridge. And we obviously don't want to be destroying the bridge. And that's going to go to that side. Which is obviously going to be... the tools side. So that makes sense. I guess one problem we are going to have is getting a train in here. So that should be fine. And I guess because we're doing that, we might need one of those bad boys there as well. Okay, everything else should be fine in theory. Which I think it kind of is. But I guess the next thing we need to set up is the actual buses itself. Actually, we also need to do our final platform down in Springfield. But let me do the buses here. And then what we'll do is... we will get a passenger train running. At least between Jacksonville and Pueblo. Now, these lines also aren't connected, but I guess what we'll do, we'll just make another depot around here somewhere. So we'll do that in a second. But let's grab our bus stops. Now, as far as the line goes, I guess we want to stop... I think we will do the double line here as well. I do kind of feel like these are going to be pretty big cities, because we are essentially expanding and supplying them with materials as well. Alright, so there we go. That looks pretty good. What I also want to do is maybe join this up down here as well. Yeah, so let's do that. Hopefully they'll start building in here a little bit more as well. So yeah. Where do I want the last bus stop? I guess over here somewhere kind of makes sense. It is pretty close. Let's just do it. We may as well. Obviously, there's nothing here at the moment. But I am assuming that they're probably... I mean, they're kind of building out there. Would maybe make more sense to have another stop out there. Do these ones pick up these people? Yes, they do. Well, kind of. Okay, never mind. What about these ones? Yeah, so that's... Okay. Everything looks pretty good. So let's make another line. Alright, and we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I guess this one will be called... where are we? We're in Jacksonville, aren't we? Jacksonville bus loop. Obviously the B for the bus. And then let's add another new line. And of course it's going to just be reverse. So there we go. Alright, perfect. And that one's going to, of course, be called the Jacksonville reverse bus line. Okay, there we go. Now we need a depot, and we will be able to start having vehicles come out and get on the road and picking up those passengers, which is obviously going to equal more money for us. Let's try and get that as close as possible. Right there. There we go. Perfect. All right, so let's just go straight off the bat with 4 for each line. I was kind of like messing around before, you know, getting 2 at a time. So let's just get 4 from the start. And we will, of course, probably have to increase. So where are we going? Jacksonville reverse. Okay, so that one's sorted out. We are going to need to buy the passenger train as well. But obviously it's going to take a little while. Okay, so let's do bus stops here as well. We'll chuck some in the middle here. Guess we'll chuck some there. Which way do we obviously want it to go this way. So let's go relatively in the middle here. I do kind of want it to go up here. So let's do that. I'm going to have it come all the way out here. And then it's going to turn around at the end here and hopefully come back. Then we'll have a couple more there. We'll have a few more on this side here as well. I guess we're going to make it go this way. It's going to be quite a long route. Yeah, so let's have 2 more up here. Because it looks like they're kind of expanding up there anyway, so it's going to go up there. Then it's going to come back into here. So let's go 2 there. And then I guess finally right here as well. Okay. That kind of looks like enough. That kind of looks like enough. It's quite a lot. That is quite a lot. Okay. Let's go new line. And I guess we'll start this way. Going all the way up there. It's 9 stops. It seems like a lot, but it does do a fairly decent amount of looping. So that's nice. And this one is Pueblo. I think that's how you spell it. Hopefully it is. So we'll give that bad boy a B there as well. And I think I did spell it correctly. P-U-E. Did I spell it P-U-E? Yeah, I did. Oh, look at that. Alright, so new line. And this one's going to be reversed. Okay, a little bit of lag there, I guess. That was interesting. And of course, this one is going to be Pueblo reverse bus loop. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty good. So once again, we'll grab a depot. Alright, doesn't seem to really want to build there. There we go. Alright. Right there, perfect. And again, I guess we'll go... Let's go... Yeah, we'll go 4 again. 4 onto each line. So, Pueblo. And then grab 4 more. And Pueblo reverse. Okay. So I guess they're kind of sorted out now. We could grab our depot and start running passengers. So let's advance. We'll let the bus do its thing a little bit. As you can see, they are starting to, well, at least in Jacksonville, they're looking like they want to use the bus services. Of course, we are still missing Springfield, so I haven't forgotten about that. We will be connecting them up, probably in the next episode. We've got a ton of planks waiting here. 37, so we're, hold on. What we need to do, we need to start delivering down. So let's do it right now. Instead of next episode, let's get Springfield up and running. And I think what we'll want to do is maybe connect these two here. So let's do that. Go with streets. Get in nice and close here. Try and get as straight with this street as possible. Something like that. And then we want to go like straight across there. I feel like right there is straight. I might be wrong, but that looks pretty straight to me. Okay. So what we're going to do now is destroy this road here. We destroy one building, but that's fine. Because the train is going to come right onto this road. And actually, looking at it, it does look a little bit wonky. And what I mean by wonky, if you don't know what that means, I'm not sure if that's an Australian saying. But it's definitely not straight, like I thought it was. Anyway, so our buildings, we need... I guess we'll go for passenger, because I kind of want the passenger to be closest to the road. As that's kind of just logical, I guess. I feel like that's pretty logical. Anyway, let's... Yeah, that looks pretty straight there. Perfect. But once again, we're going to do some configuring. Of course, add the tracks. And add in our cargo platforms. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Let's connect... And again, it doesn't really matter which way we connect it. We might... It's pretty far away. Alright. Alright, where are we at? We want this one here. Let's go to there. And we'll curve sort of around here. Just so we don't go through that mountain. Might have done a little bit too much there. Because we can actually go straight from here. So let me come out from this side as well. I do feel like the tools is going to be probably a little bit more important. So where are we? Let's curve a little bit. We can actually go pretty straight to there. Yeah, okay, that looks better. We are going to demolish a little bit of that. And then once again, we're pretty much going to go straight up to about... What are we colliding with? Up to about there. That looks really good. That's super straight. It was pretty expensive. I just realized that we kind of cut through most of the terrain here. Probably should have done that a little bit better. Anyway. It's fine, it's fine. We've only got, what, 2 trains to buy, so... Everything's fine, everything's fine. Okay. There we go. That looks pretty good. Once again, we need to connect this one to there. Hopefully we can go relatively far. Not too far. You know what, that's not too bad. We get up to, what, 94? Maybe 119? Alright, so... Chuck a cheeky one there. I guess, do we want to chuck one there as well? I don't want this side, the cargo side, to essentially have free reign. Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't matter where we put these, I don't think. I don't even think they're actually necessary. We'll chuck some here, though. And obviously we're going to need to fix up this one as well. So we're going to have it coming out of there, joining into here. And that essentially looks like all we can do. So obviously the cargo isn't stopping here, so what we want to do is have a signal to show that, basically. So right there on the edge. And I think we're finished. I think we are finished. Okay. So, let's do cargo first. Because I kind of feel like that's going to be a little bit harder to sort out, and we obviously want it sorted out sooner rather than later. So, new line. This one I feel like it's going to be a little bit complicated for my head. So we're going to start there. We're going to go all the way down to Springfield. It's quite a distance. There we go. Then on the way back, we need to stop at the food processing plant here. And then go up to Jacksonville here. And that's essentially where it all starts again. So there we go. And that is the correct side to be using. Perfect. Alright, so number 1, we are simply loading tools. Where are our tools? There. Okay, Springfield, we are just unloading our tools. That's fine. Obviously, number 3, Pueblo North, we are loading food. Is that correct? Yep. And then obviously Jacksonville, we are unloading our food. So there we go. I mean, the train, it's going to be running empty a little bit of the time. So we'll call this one... What will we call this? Let's do Jacksonville Tools. And I guess we'll do Tools to Springfield. And then food. Well, that's essentially all we can do. Let's do Jayville. Just so I kind of know what it is. I already know what Jayville is. So Jayville Tools to Springfield. And then let's go food to Jayville. I mean, obviously that's not going to fit. But it makes sense. It makes sense in my head anyway. So that's fine. Alright, so now that we've got that up and running... is this about to drop off planks? Okay, I think we caught it perfect in the perfect time. So with that right there, we're going to grab another train. We might actually go for a fast train on this one. I'm thinking the investment might be worth the 1.4 million. The only thing is, we're not actually going to be able to buy a passenger train. what would be worth more? I think actually the fast train, the Mogul, on the passenger line would probably be better. Because obviously it's got to stop more. So stopping and starting, you want it to be going faster. So I guess, let's go with the general for the tool line. So obviously we'll be getting box cars for this one. What do we want first, though? That's an interesting question. Do we want to be delivering the tools first? I think we do, because then the Springfield City does grow. And of course, we already have the line set up itself. Unable to find path to stop. Okay, well that's not good. Why isn't it able to stop? Do we have to angle it out this way? That might be what's wrong. Hopefully, this is going to be a simple fix. Perhaps. Let me grab another signal here. Is that going to work? Yay! There we go. I guess for some reason it didn't want to go that way and then come back this way. So, in theory, that should be good. Let's let it play out a little bit. And let's see what happens. So, is this going to start producing any tools? It is. Okay, perfect. And it is essentially 1-to-1, so we should have about 40? Yeah, we might have about 40 tools there. And this bad boy is waiting for the other train to come back and pick up the next load, so that's perfect. Just want to double check that this is... Yeah, I mean, it is essentially sorted out. This signal doesn't really make sense, and we don't really need it. I just kind of put it there just in case, for some reason, we wanted this guy to wait here for that train to come. But that's fine. Because this train, essentially, the one that's waiting here that we just bought, will never be using this track here again. Apart from its first run out. That's fine. Now, this was all very expensive, so we kind of need to make a bit of money at the moment. And if we don't, then all 3 of these passenger terminals and most of this track will essentially be worthless. And of course, we also need to set up this here, which we haven't done. I'll save that for next episode. And let's hopefully... Yeah, he's finally on his way, which is nice. And this guy looks like he's already about to take off. I'm assuming he's actually waiting for this guy to get off his track. I feel like that's probably what he's doing. But as you can see, we've got a decent amount of tools waiting. And, I mean, we're definitely losing a lot of money. Although we did just gain a bit, so... Hoping we're going to be fine. I'm hoping we're going to be fine. We just lost 400,000. Looks like we're essentially losing about 400,000 for every sort of payment we have to do. I'm not sure how often they actually occur. I don't think it's once a year. I'm pretty sure it's a few more than once. I mean, if you guys know, then feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I mean, I'll probably just work that out myself. Anyway, how many is it going to pick up? 38, so it's 4 away from a full load. Okay. And how many planks are waiting here? Yeah, it's essentially another full load, so we might actually want to expand this guy in the near future. But what I want to do first of all is get this new train for this passenger line. Otherwise, we are going to be losing money. So we need to be making money. And at the moment, it looks like we're really struggling to sort of get any finance built up. I mean, the earnings have gone up. They have gone up, so we're sitting at about 1.8. I mean, what I could do, I don't really want to do it. We also have to buy another we have to buy another depot, and I also have to let this train run through here first. See if it runs through cleanly. Yeah, I mean, it does run through. Obviously, there's nothing else on the line, so it's going to do its thing pretty easily. I am a little bit worried. This was a big risk. This whole line, I mean, it was massive. A massive undertaking. And we're getting a lot of people built up at these stations here as well. Got 42 people waiting for the bus loop. Alright. I'm kind of just going to wait for the bank account to get back up to about 1.8 million. And then I think we're just going to buy a train. Even if we can only afford the worst. So let's pause it there. And let's buy a depot. Spin her around. I think we're just going to leave it right here. Let's go like right there. Okay. Alright, we need tracks. And we need to just connect it straight into here. I mean, pretty much as fast as possible, or as cheap as possible. Like 24,000 right there. We'll grab one signal to put on here. And let's buy this guy. Okay, so we're obviously not going to get the mogul, because it's essentially how much money we have in the bank at the moment. I want to be using the mogul, but I think we'll stick with the trusty old general. I really want to use some of these other trains, man. I really do want to use them. But let's get the general, and then let's get a few passenger cars. Pretty much as, well, we can... Really? 750,000. We can literally only afford one. Do we just do it and add as we go? I mean, we're going to be losing even more money once we purchase these. Let's wait. Alright, I'm going to end the episode here, guys. So, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate the support. If you could give the video a like, it would mean the world to me. And as you can tell, I'm really, really enjoying Transport Fever. Obviously, I know the views aren't really there, which is fine, because it is a new game. And for those of you that are new to my channel, I have primarily done other sort of simulation games, primarily around football and, of course, wrestling as well. But I do really enjoy these sort of city building tycoon games. And, you know, this is going to continue on the channel for quite some time. Of course, I do have other games like City Skylines. I even have like Gold Rush and stuff like that, which I would be interested in possibly playing on the channel in the future. So if you want to see more of this content, and obviously some maybe similar content, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications as well, and that'd be greatly appreciated by me, and hopefully you guys will benefit from getting notified when my videos do come out. So apart from that, just want to say thank you, and also take it easy, and goodbye.